Hello everybody, I'm Jason Wong, a realtor broker here in the state of Hawaii. Today I want to talk about, I got some email, people were asking about, is it true about if the park is designated as a recreation activity? Is it kind of like a forever thing? More specifically, they just wonder about if the property is looking out to a park or ocean or beach park, will down the road the beach park will get developed into something else. Okay, if I were in Vancouver, I can tell you about in Vancouver the city over there was really protective about parkland. So if that park is designated as a park usage, uh, pretty much you can never change or erect any structure to change the nature of the park function. So pretty much people always say it's forever feel. If you live on Beach Avenue, in West End in Vancouver, you will always have the ocean front and the sandy beach in front of you if you live on that road. Here in Honolulu, originally I also thought that would be the case, but I never really tell people yes or no directly, but because I never have found any definite answer saying about if this is an oceanfront park, will that be changed down the road? It never really said it can or cannot. So the thing is, it's always an option for the government to change the usage or make it differently. So I think recently we have a couple issues about the Ala Moana Beach Park. Specifically, there's a condominium tower. There are a couple, I think, association member or board member over there. They get the city to change the certain parcel inside the park to build structure over there. It's recreational structure for children, but the general consensus from the community is mixed. Most people, they just want to keep it as is because right now Ala Moana Beach Park, everything looks good, it's spacious, it's green, has all these trees that has been there for many years. So it actually kind of like a free open space, and they don't want to see any like a man-made artificial element attached to the park too much. Okay, I'm also more pro to more a nature course of person. I if certain improvement has been done and it actually is good and well maintained, then why change it, right? But I think the strong voice from the city and also from this condominium project leader, they were really driving very harsh on pushing to build that structure. And the underlying agenda, well, you know what? I don't need to comment about it. You can go and figure out by using Google. But it's funny because it's not like we don't have any parkland that can put that structure in. And but the thing is, the proposal was not. It's like this or nothing. Okay, this is the approach. This or nothing. They will not consider any other site except this site, and this particular site is right in front of that condominium project. So again, what's the agenda here? You figure out. Okay, so it's kind of sad, like I've seen a lot of improvement in Honolulu when I was here in 2008. And right now, 2019, definitely there are lots of things that are being done on some public space, which I don't think is good. And some other public space, they are hugely neglected. And I think the excuse that we receive is about they don't have the funding to maintain it. But at the same time, they have the funding to do other build out, like you kind of like ask yourself, like, what's really going on, like you said you have no money, but you have money to do that particular thing, and whatever thing you are doing over there, you actually impact the neighborhood. Like people actually don't appreciate for that so-called improvement because they like the trees, they like how it was, they don't want to change. But why change when nobody really wants it, you know? So it's really odd, you know, sometimes why certain things are being done. And again, I don't want to get too political about my segment, but I just want to bring awareness to people who watch this channel to know about it looks like here in Honolulu nothing is forever, okay? So when you are buying something that so-called oceanfront feel or waterfront feel, don't count on it forever, okay? So that's my 2 cents here. Uh, Developer can never guarantee about whatever thing upfront, because you know what, the shoreline, the beach, the ocean side, it's always the state or the city. I think it's the state. Yeah, it's always the state property. So the state has the final say about what they can do with the shoreline. Like let's say if they want to build a station, you know, a rail station right in front of the beach. Okay, I think that would be a pretty nice options. Like in Disneyland, you know, like you have this nice scenic route of the railway, you know, around the beach. I think that would be awesome. I'm surprised actually nobody's talking about they should build a station in front of Alamona Beach Park, because I think that would be quite amazing. You know, and I suppose there would be a lot of people ride on that train just because they want to look at the sunset, and tourists will enjoy it. It's air conditioning, and it's very nice to kind of like sit on this scenic route from airport all the way to Alamona. But nobody mentioned it. Nobody, you know. So again, there's a lot of funny things that is happening in the city that I try not to get too political about, but it's just a fair observation that over the years that I always scratching my head and ask myself why things are not being done in a certain way. And then the other thing about the park, what it used to be, if your property is next to the park, is added value, because it's always nice to have green space or ocean, or just something that is kind of like nice to add on, okay? But I think ever since we have this serious homelessness issues in Oahu especially, and also in Metro Honolulu area, the park become more like yes or no things for people to think is an added feature, or kind of like a taboo feature. Uh, because there are some homelessness like issue happen on this park, you know, whether they use the facility irresponsibly, or they damage it, or they kind of defecated, urinated, graffiti, and then they erect their own personal structure on the parkland and here and there. So the thing is, I mean, again, it's on the news about like a lot of park infrastructure, like sprinkler system, many things. They were broken, you know, they were broken, and the city always said they ran out of funding to repair it. So some of the part that look really sad, you know, like if you're a tourist, you look at some travel book recommend you to go to certain park, and by the time when you go there, you'll be hugely disappointed, okay, to see how come the park looks so bad. And then you also think about, is it safe for me to use the toilet over there, because it looks like the toilet is not well maintained, you know. Yeah, it's sad, you know, because in 2008 when I came over here, I know I saw there's a homeless issue, but it wasn't escalated to this uncontrollable way. And I think homeless issue is a global issue. Okay, it's not just Hawaii is dealing with it, but I can tell about all the politicians. They all shy away to come up with more like a decisive action plan, something that is more like I would say sustainable. You know, sustainable program that that they can treat the problem with one process, rather than procrastinate the issue, let the issue kind of like manifest its own. And that's really the problem here in Honolulu, that it used to be maybe 10 or 20 homelessness happening here and there, but now it just multiply, like just everywhere. And don't forget these tourists that are coming in or potential buyer coming in, they took the taxi or even they did their own rental car. They drove through this boulevard, they drove through this road, and they saw all of these homelessness issue and all this graffiti. Think about the confidence, the confidence about from these outsiders looking at the current political or social orders, like here in Honolulu. So in many way, I think different level of the government should really look at the reflection about the situation that we are in. And we also have more violent crimes happening in the island. It used to be, no, back in 2008, I won't say we never have any like a violent crime happening, but it won't be that high frequency, Nowadays, if I kind of like travel out of state for work trip and came back, my friends or my peers may let me know about what really happened during my absence, in the island. And I was shocked, some of the things that happened is I cannot believe about what I heard. So without quoting specific incident, I just found there's many things that the city can do so that it can, whether it's these homeless people, they have a psychological or mental issue, they can put them on the right path for treatment, yet they also kind of like contribute positive positive contribution back to the society that kind of supporting this welfare program. If you are just kind of tax on the property tax or increase more like surcharge on gasoline and stuff, this is not going to be sustainable because people who are responsible taxpayer in the state, they will leave. They had enough of paying everything and being cushioned, being always subject to be the party to shoulder all these expenses that the government hasn't got a very good sustainable plan to kind of like put the problem to really close up the issue successfully. That's how I want to say it. And to these people, they would rather to migrate to other city that has more more regulated and also is more transparent public policies city, whether from the state or from the city, to live there and also have more reasonable taxation system as well. Hawaii is very expensive. Almost everything that we do, there's a surcharge here. They just don't show it on the price that you pay, but they are all absorbed within the merchandise that we buy. So why the chain store like Costco, Safeway, like these kind of like a giant retailer will be able to do it is because they have the economy of scale and also they have their own distribution network. So the thing is they are able to absorb those costs and overhead as part of the operation expenses. But a lot of small operator, they just cannot afford, they will just keep maxing out the credit, getting more and more loan, and in a way that they have no way to repay the debt, and then they just declare bankruptcy. So bankruptcy rate in Hawaii actually is pretty high. It's not low, and the cost of living here is also high because we had a lot of big parcel of land, but it was sold for only building one single family house. And I know they have talked about you may also add a second structure or something like that, but I think it's the cost of construction is too much. And most homeowner, they already pay off the mortgage on the primary house for them to go to the bank and get another loan to build a second structure may not be too financial sound, so they don't do it. So the thing is, you have a lot of land, but you only allow one structure, and these structure usually they build in a very early time, like we are talking about maybe in the 70 or 60, and during that time a lot of these plantation style houses are very small. They may be only 1,000 square feet or 1,500 square feet, one level, and that would be it. But in the current standard, it is very small. So the thing is, these houses should be torn down, and then get redeveloped to be a two-story, or at least make the structure bigger. So, but due to the zoning limitation, they are not allowed to build another house on the same lot. I wish they can, because that would be giving more rental options for people who can rent. And when you have more rental unit available, it helps to drive the rental prices to go lower, so it will be more affordable. So even you may not be able to come up with a policy to make everybody to purchase a piece of property in Hawaii, but at least as a working class, people can have some affordable rental. Actually, you know what? Affordable rental is more important than affordable housing. Affordable rental can actually help some of those able yet homeless individual family to get off from the street and then live in these public assist housings, so that while they going out and making income, okay, and the children go to school, then at least the housing costs and overhead can bring it down, so that they I study economics. One thing that I always believe is a free economy. And one of the free economy theory that I always think it will work in any situation is, if you put more money in a person's pocket, the economy will be growing faster than you tax on these people. And the reason for that is when people they have more money, meaning they don't need to pay tax as much as the government thought the tax would be really the only and the best solution to improve the welfare program in the society. That is wrong. Okay, the more decisive way is to put more money into people's pocket, and people, once they have more money in the pocket, then they will start paying for more merchandise, more produce. They will go out to watch a cinema, buy popcorns, buy soda, and then maybe have a fun dining, or maybe they will grab a lunchbox. But the thing is, you see what I'm saying? The money in the pocket end up actually retaining in the society, but kind of distributed to different small business operators. And these small business operators, once they have more income, okay, more revenue coming in, and then they have more income, then they will end up spending the money too. They will be hiring more employees, okay, so one more person off the street from being unemployed. And then you also have and they can also kind of like buy more things around, and kind of like spend the money within the community, to kind of like so I always believe about this free economy theory that I learned from my university, the bachelor degree in Simon Fraser University. Okay, but unfortunately, none of the politicians or political parties ever advocate that about putting money into a person's pocket will actually help the economy to go further. All I always heard about is tax on the law-abiding citizen, okay, the one who actually don't set up an offshore tax account, okay, and get taxed here locally. And I just don't find this is sustainable and this is fair. And again, I don't know how many politicians will be watching my segment, but if you're watching it, then maybe you can kind of, run a scenario, have your administration team do a mock-up scenario testing, and see whether what I'm saying is right, okay? You can run a very easy game in your office, putting more money into people's pocket, and then see what that person is doing. I guarantee usually people will use that money either for even for reinvestment. That means they are still using the money, okay? But most likely people will kind of like buy more clothing, buy more food, improve their life and condition, buy electronic and then hang out, entertainment. So all of these are actually helping the economy to grow, not shrinking. But tax on citizen it actually shrink the economy because people will be so scared about like spending the next cents on entertainment because they are fear about they don't have enough money to pay for the taxes. So I think that is wrong as well. So again, this is just my opinion, and if you like my channel, please subscribe it. And also, if you want to leave any comment, you can leave it down below or send me an email if you want to private message me. Thank you for watching my channel. Thank you.